Yeah, I should. I should put like an ish on there.
Yeah, put an ish on there.
Sorry for the slight delays. I guess Facebook decided to change how they run their video a little bit, so I was running in circles trying to get this going. But it should be. I should have posted like a link in all the Norfolk Virginia Beach groups and on the Hampton Roads page. So if anyone can say yes or no on that and let us know, that would be awesome.
Please.
Please. Okay, so today is Sunday the 21st. Summer officially started yesterday.
Uh-oh.
Mute it. Sorry for this slight one. There we go. Problem solved. All right.
Where were we?
Well, I'm Ryan.
I'm Talbot.
This is Tanya.
That's fine.
Joined by Philip, captain of Mandalorians for winter draft season. He's really proud about that. He is super happy about that.
I'm happy.
He's only mentioned it like 4 times. He wore a shirt, you know. Brought the captain's trophy too. Yeah.
I'm more happy because it was during the Mandalorian season too.
Okay.
Bittersweet, but.
And this is Talbot.
Hi.
Does anybody not know Talbot?
I was about to say, do I really need an introduction?
Probably not.
The introduction.
So
Yeah, right.
this podcast, this isn't our official pre-draft podcast because we don't, have all the draft captains and stuff here. But it's been a while since we've done a podcast. It's been a while since we played kickball. So there's a lot of stuff to talk about. This is our actually largest mailbag in a while too. Why are you laughing?
No, because I usually fill that thing up and I only ask 2 questions. That's why it's so funny to me.
Alright,
Somebody carried the torch.
You guys want to jump in the mailbag? You want to talk about anything else first?
Well, I mean, it's Father's Day, so happy Father's Day
That's
to my
true,
fellow
it's
dads
Father's
out
Yeah,
there.
happy Father's Day.
But yeah, I guess we could get going with the mailbag.
All right. So actually, very, very first, actually, we'll save that when we get down to the other related question.
Yeah.
So, this question, why haven't we started playing again? I see other events being posted. Well, phase 2, Virginia, for recreational co-ed sports, there is a limit of 50 people for a gathering or for a league or for organization. So that pretty much limits us. You figure kickball team, 15-ish people, so 2 teams playing 1 game, that's 30 people. That's 1 game at a time, the max you can do, which isn't realistic to do a whole lot. So the other part of that is renting fields. So most of the cities around here will not do any field rentals because of obviously the state restrictions and limitations. The good news is, as a state, we're doing fairly well. A lot of the measures have been implemented, seem to have done pretty well. Virginia is actually trending in the right direction. Hopefully phase 3 will be next week. Phase 3 means up to 250 people, which means we would be able to run a league.
Yeah.
And another thing too, like, look, takes money to run leagues. People pay the registration fees and everything else. We kind of felt it was important to give people good value for something coming back, which is a season. Tournaments are fun. For WAKA, we primarily do charity tournaments. Most of the money goes to charity, but we didn't want to do like charge you half the cost of the season, do a tournament on a 1-day thing. It's like a money grab kind of. So we wanted to do something. We didn't want to do a one-off. We wanted to have a meaningful kickball experience when people coming back, as people miss kickball.
I thought about, just in case down the line, if we get, especially if we're anticipating resurgence in the fall, if it does truly happen where we have to shut down again and we have to shut down the season prematurely, I would consider, giving out some trinkets or something like that. Like an extra shirt or, a WAKA cup.
You campaigning here?
So you chipping in on that?
No,
I mean, the money, I guess that can be an option for people who don't want the credits or something like that. They don't want to.
Well, we can go ahead and jump into that because that was it was your question.
It was.
What is the contingency plan if we have to abruptly cut the summer or fall season short due to resurgence of SARS-CoV-2 cases? And that's a realistic possibility. Look, let's not kid ourselves. It could totally happen. You're already seeing a couple states that are seeing a huge resurgence right now. Florida, Arizona, and Texas, and CLUBWAKA's got leagues in all of those. And yeah, they're not doing anything right now because it's kind of a shit show right there.
Yeah, it's funny because, even though, of course we anticipate the numbers will continue to go up, and they are, in some places. As you know, there's been recent events, right, that cause more people to get together. But some states are pretty much open now. I was talking to someone from Ohio. He says they don't have any restrictions other than, people, healthcare workers have to wear masks, and that's about it. Amusement parks are open. Sport events.
Well, and a lot of, if you guys remember, Ohio was one of the first states that implemented controls. Yeah. Because I'm a huge hockey fan. I remember my Penguins were going to play the Columbus Blue Jackets in Ohio. They made the trip there, and they're like, "Yeah, sorry, you guys aren't playing. We're canceling all sporting events." And this was back.
Oh yeah, that was when it first started.
Yeah, this was like early March.
Early March, late February.
And a lot of people were like, "This is stupid. We canceled sports leagues. This is insane." And of course, everything happened.
They made that announcement.
Yeah.
I was like, "You can't be serious.
Yeah.
They're shutting down the state." I said, "Whoops, sorry."
But Ohio,
I didn't realize everybody else was going to.
Ohio took it seriously.
Yeah, they took it seriously.
And if you look at New Zealand cracked down pretty hard, but they're an island. It's kind of easier to control it. But they got sporting events fans in stadiums right now.
Really?
Yeah. That was actually earlier this week. I think it was like Monday or Tuesday this week.
Well, you might see my location change. Facebook.
Well, if you go to New Zealand from outside of the country, when you come in, you're like in a 14-day quarantine.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if I leave and move, I ain't come back.
And make it worse.
So yeah, that's the biggest thing is, we'll kind of do like we did before. Like, I told people back when everything happened before, like, we're not going to steal your money and take it. Like, you're going to get a credit. We're not going to just be like, oh, you gave it the money, sorry, gone, it's ours now. No, we're going to make it right as much as we can. And I know the credit thing kind of sucks sometimes, and like, I'd rather have a refund, but the reality is CLUBWAKA's in the same situation too. Like, we paid, prior to spring season starting, we paid the City of Virginia Beach for rentals in spring. The City of Virginia Beach didn't. Yeah, I'm looking at you. City of Virginia Beach didn't give us cut us a check back. They're like, oh, we'll credit you guys. We'll credit you guys. So that's money that CLUBWAKA paid out. And all the social sports organizations, if you look at them, they're all the same policy. They're all
doing the same thing.
We'll give you credit.
I will say, CLUBWAKA's been, maybe because they have a big Facebook presence, but it's been really communicative with us and saying us, what we're going to do for you. Because I might just sign up with some other organizations. I'm gonna say the names for market.
You can dial them out if you want to. I won't though.
I guess I haven't heard a response as of late. One of the biggest organizations around, and I'm actually quite surprised. Like, where's my money at?
No, and that was a big thing. Like, we wanted to, because look, it's people's money. They care. They want to know what's going on. We thought it was important to, let people know.
Yeah.
Good or bad.
I understand, like,
Where to find the credits,
Oh.
maybe?
Yeah, we could do that.
Real quick, Dewey said hey a while ago, so I think we should acknowledge
What?
Oh, hey, Nicole.
Oh, hey, Nicole.
Did we miss you?
Hey, Dewey.
I've been sitting there looking at it like, whenever everybody else sees that.
It's too far away.
Oh.
Well, that's why I was
I
looking
got
at your phone when you
2015
had it over
eyes.
here, because I knew there was something up there.
Yeah, I did know the code.
So,
It was
some
like
people that have signed up for draft, by the way, you guys are all awesome. Who's already signed up for draft?
Hit me up when I'm drunk, I do silly things.
I was number 3.
We have a new website. That's actually one of the questions on here. Why another website? So it was about a year ago when we launched the new CLUBWAKA site, because the old one was getting dated.
I like this one better. I don't know about the design. Actually, I like the design better than the previous one, but this one works better, smooth. I don't know. It's navigation, like, sometimes I scroll it and stop, and it's just like more fluid with this one. I don't know, the code is better, but I don't like the design.
So the backbone of this one, so before CLUBWAKA's kind of like had an in-house solution. Had their own proprietary kind of website. The first one was like based off of WordPress, if I remember right.
Yeah.
And the last one was
Awful.
It was all done together on its own.
Okay.
I think it was rushed out, rolled out.
That's what I think. I think it was rushed, but I kind of like the layout. It looked friendly.
My father said hey too.
Oh, hey, father.
Oh wait, no, she just said it's hey to Nicole. So.
Oh,
she didn't want to say that.
I see. Okay, that's enough about that.
I'll say hi to Malfi though. I'm Malfi.
All right. So with the whole shutdown, and everything else, CLUBWAKA, I mean, the CCs are part-time anyway, so them being furloughed, if you will, isn't that much of a big deal. These aren't running, but pretty much almost all full-time CLUBWAKA staff are furloughed. That includes like
That's
Brent.
correct, yeah.
That's what I thought about too. Even when I'm registering and everything like that, at the end of the day, people need to get paid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so other part having myself, I said, man, maybe I
But
need
that
to
was-
stop being so,
That was a decision CLUBWAKA had to make, though, because, again, kind of like we talked about, imagine for the whole company, you paid for all these fields for spring, and all of a sudden the spring seasons happen, and then you got insurance policies that have to carry. Those don't automatically get canceled.
Right.
So, there's some expenses ahead of time that you paid out that you're not getting back. So, part of what CLUBWAKA did during that period of time, a lot of the owners and management, stuff like that, they looked at it and like, well, how can we become more efficient? Because obviously, kind of like we talked about the ongoing pandemic thing, it could, resurgence, whatever, could be shut back down again. So they were like, well, how can we kind of weather this better in the future? So they looked at, for the website, they looked at moving over to league apps, which league apps, a lot of social sports organizations use league apps. It's kind of the gold standard for league management software.
you don't like that? You give me some.
I'm laughing at my phone
Oh,
right now.
it's-
'Cause I know she's probably sitting next to Nicole asking her what she's doing.
It's got pluses and minuses.
Because they could have been here.
Yeah,
That's
that's
true.
true. And the audience, you still can come.
But no, I mean, there's pluses and minuses. The biggest thing is CLUBWAKA doesn't need independent, really web development as much as they did. So it's a little bit more of an efficiency thing. And I'll say this: League Apps has worked really well with us. Because League Apps is kind of like, here's this, you can use it as it is. But because CLUBWAKA is a national company, a little bit bigger, League Apps has actually accommodated us and made some changes, which is awesome. And the changes have come pretty quickly. So the website went live like a soft opening. Actually, it was a little bit before Monday. But pretty much it's been live a week, and there's already been some changes. I've submitted like a list of 5 or 6 things like, hey, this needs fixed, this needs fixed. And, they're knocking them out pretty quick.
You code, don't you?
What?
You code?
I mean, no, I'm not a programmer, but I'm
I'll do it.
familiar with HTML, PHP, all kinds of stuff like that. So it's not.
I had my suspicions,
Not
but I
great to
almost
me.
was tipped off because, as you guys may have not known, if you guys have never been to Ryan's house, he has a supercomputer back there, and with 2 monitors. So that's the cold standard. Talking about standards.
But
Yeah.
I'm just a laptop.
But it helps too, because like I can look and like, oh, I know exactly what's causing that, given details, and then the programmer who gets like, oh, it saves them time instead of trying to hunt or track it down. But yeah, if we get back to the original point, if we end up having to shut down again, we'll issue credits again, just like we did the first time. Fine.
So springing off the website, how about those registrations for the summer? For the summer draft, how's that going, and do you anticipate that we'll have at least 6 teams?
There's about 50 people sign up right now, which is a little over 3 teams.
What date did you open it up?
Literally Monday.
That's not that bad. 50 a
So
week.
50 in a week.
Especially when a lot of people have credits they can use.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, guys. It's,
Yeah, prices go up after tonight.
It's true. Early bird price. Yeah, it's only $49 right now, which is.
Use your credits.
I know. Otherwise, taking cash grab if you plan on signing
Yeah.
up.
I mean, if you want to give
Profit.
CLUBWAKA an extra $10, CLUBWAKA is not going to be upset about that. But
Unless you
take advantage
What about
of
if you were late last season?
But not only your
the
credits,
money you
but-
pay for late, do you get that full amount?
whatever
Whatever
you paid
Okay.
is what you
Okay.
get.
But all those people who bought all those gift certificates at Christmas time, use them. Use them now, today, Father's
Yeah,
Day. Buy
right.
yourself something if you don't.
Yeah, Talbert, for
Oh,
example,
man.
had a bunch of Black Friday credits.
yeah. He told me the amount of money I had. I was like, well, shit.
Talbert can pretty much play 2 leagues a season for a full year and not have to come out of pocket. That's how much credit Talbert's got.
Yeah, between all the coupons I had, the ref coupons I had, the seasons I already paid for.
Well, that's not on here, but do y'all want to talk about how you get credits for being in the head rep program?
Okay.
Might as well.
Yeah, head ref program. So last year was the first year of doing it full time. We definitely have had, well, at least I've had less people come up to me complaining about refereeing issues, which has been good. It's not like there were a ton before, but it'd be normally at least one a week out of like, however many games we played, six games, whatever. There'd be at least one issue about a call, and typically never affects the outcome of the game anyway, but someone's upset about something get called, right? And I get that. But yeah, it was minimized. So yeah, if you're someone who knowledge about the rules.
Yeah, if you've got enough knowledge of the
Yeah.
rules, you've got enough experience playing, and maybe even refed a couple times, you've got a test you can take, a knowledge quiz, and see how you do on it. And if you do well enough, I get, finally introduce you to the group.
Yeah, so it's invite-ish kind of, but pretty much all that means is like you come talk to me, talk about it, I'll explain what's involved, you take the test, you do good on the test, get you in the program,
And then we
try out.
jump you in. You got to come on Ryan's house.
Yeah, we go riot style on you, gangland.
It's initiation. We bring you with Ryan's initials.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
got
so
RK on
it's
your
a-
right ass cheek.
It's a CLUBWAKA logo on the left shoulder,
Yeah.
and then on the right shoulder my initials, so.
In
Yeah.
cursive. with a wire hanger.
Cursive outline script.
Yeah.
Like, shout out to the girls, because I think Ashley Hoffman is the only girl head ref.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's not branded, because we don't do that to the girls.
She's
We have
big.
other ways. We have other methods.
We have other methods of identifying.
But yeah, definitely, if you think you'd make a good ref, hit me up, talk to me about the head ref program. Worst case scenario, maybe you just don't know the rules well enough and you just need to go over them, learn them a little bit better until you get up to speed.
Yeah, I think that was the
big
best
deal.
way because that was my first time, ref.
Yeah, so Philip's a perfect example of someone who was like kind of weak on the rules to begin with.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah, as we were talking about, that's not a slap in the face. I mean,
I
you don't know, you
yeah,
don't
it's not a
know.
slap in the
But,
face, but coming from Ryan, that was meant to be.
Oh yeah, we got a little dig right there.
But it forces you to
Yeah.
learn the rules to the T, especially to the rule books, and I enjoyed it. Being able to take a test at the end, it's like we enjoy that motivation, to do well on the test.
And as a captain, you should probably pay more attention to the rules anyway. It helps if you know the rules, if you're a captain. I'm just throwing that
Yeah,
out
because
there.
everyone's looking at you like,
Yeah, but at least you know.
I don't know.
Go get Ryan.
This is another.
Told it.
This is another question related to the pandemic. What safety measures are being taken for upcoming leagues? Obviously, we're going to be following any official guidance put out by the state. I honestly believe that the state of Virginia has had some really good guidance and precautions.
I do, yeah. I agree.
And I think that has contributed to us being in a really good spot compared to other states. We were talking about that before we went live, but there's states, like Florida, Texas, like they're a nightmare right now.
Yeah, the yeehaw states.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm proud of Ralph North, the governor, Ralph Northam, is that, he keeps us informed, and from a physician standpoint, he's looking at the numbers, and even though some people may not like him, his policies and whatnot, not to be political or anything like that, but I think he's trying to take care of us. And so,
I mean, I think at the end of the day, like, you can disagree with, maybe his politics, the way he goes about it, everything else. I think at the end of the day, the resulting numbers stand for themselves.
yeah, I can agree with that.
I mean, probably my biggest worry about being in Virginia related to the pandemic is North Carolina, whose numbers are going up, and they're just across the border from us. So, but yeah, we'll definitely take precautions if that means, obviously the sponsor bar is a factor in that too. So we'll see how Phase 3 affects our sponsor bars and their capacity. Bucketheads is in a really good spot though. Fortunately, it's warmer weather out right now. Bucketheads has expanded a ton of outdoor seating.
Yep.
So
They've been renovating in there too.
they're in a really good spot right now.
It turns out
compared to some other
they never
places.
shut down. They've always.
Yeah, Bucketheads has
been
been open.
operational.
I know a lot of people have been out there. Bucketheads has been open the whole time. Obviously, following any restrictions like dining room side closed, takeout only. They've been on top of everything.
I didn't see John Murray with shotgun.
Well, John's actually pretty involved in it though,
Yeah.
because, in the political aspect of it, because he's on the board with other restaurant owners. And they actually have phone calls with the governor weekly.
Really?
For updates, yes.
Oh, nice.
So
And-
he's been following everything to the T, and helping
Yeah.
guide other restaurants in the area.
And no, Nicole Mafalda is not the best first base rep. She's pretty much the worst.
Oh man, make it so you can scroll up so I can see what it says. I can't see what anybody's saying right there. There you
No, we should have that like broadcasted on your TV.
Yeah, I know. Well, a previous one I had it on my TV. Let's see when all
go.
the.
See, we think of the bright ideas when it's too late.
Like, I'm
Oh no,
on
no, it's not too late.
You know what I mean?
grab my phone so I can see the
Yeah.
comments.
There we go.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, okay.
Man, that's hot.
Ask and ye shall receive.
Mafalda is the best social first base coach.
That's
That's
true, but it also means she's not paying attention to the freaking game.
I see. That's the reason she's quote unquote.
All right. Do we have any other? That's pandemic-ish related. We'll come back to that one. Is there any other full-on pandemic type questions?
The one about what we've been doing.
Okay. So, how has the pandemic affected CLUBWAKA? We covered that mostly. For me personally, the biggest impact with CLUBWAKA, there were 3 new leagues that I wanted to start this year that
That
pretty much
wanted
got
to start?
scratched. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, those are it's kind of off the table. So
Oh wow! I mean, other than dodgeball, obviously, well, that's not new, but it's still
Yeah.
green.
yeah, there were 3. I mean, the biggest thing was I wanted to get cornhole started on the south side, but it's kind of hard to start that up in situations like this.
Well, it's outdoors.
It's true.
That's
it is
true.
bonus.
Stay
That's a
6
good
feet apart.
point. Yeah.
I'm just
But
shooting shit. I'm
Yeah.
not being serious.
so I mean that is what it is. It's possible we may be able to squeeze one in.
That's what she said.
It would be a podcast on tablet without something. Yeah, there we go.
And I was really gonna behave myself today too.
Not to mention they were
Do you
talking
have
about
like a
backdoors and
checklist for
front
every
doors on the way
podcast,
over
like
here.
things that you
What I have
guys
to
say?
do, I will now. From now on, I will. I'll have my taglines ready to go.
So
each time
please
I'm on.
provide an update on the many kickball relationships. Which ones survived the pandemic? Which ones did not? Did any begin in the pandemic?
And drama, huh?
I couldn't tell you. I'm not.
I have no idea.
I've been away from everything since this started, so
Well, I don't know. I think we are kind of having a baby soon, aren't we?
are you?
Not
Congratulations.
Oh.
We, but relationships. I think Matt is gonna have a baby.
Yeah, that's true.
Happy
Matt,
almost Father's Day.
Matt and Teresa.
Yes.
Forgot about that.
Oh, really?
Sorry.
Oh.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't meant to be put public, it is now. Thank you.
They put it on Facebook.
I mean, on Facebook.
I know.
It's okay, Facebook, but the podcast.
Oh,
I mean,
Why did
somebody
you do it on
asked
the
the question.
podcast?
speaking of social media, what's new with Town Board?
I couldn't tell you. It wasn't ever my idea. It wasn't ever my doing.
Oh,
No more illicit photos.
I mean, if you got it, take it.
So who has the board anyway?
I was gonna say where.
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I've heard rumors, but I don't know for
Somebody
sure.
still got it.
I know where I sent it.
What was
In
the
the
last
basement-
rumor?
in the basement.
Yeah, it's tied the hell up. I know where I sent it. I don't know what it's doing now.
A few questions about summer draft. When does Ed Aaron asked us on Facebook. We answered it
serious.
there. A few questions about summer draft. When decided game times is a tourney on Monday or the weekend. So
That matters to Ed because he's driving from Yorktown.
that's true. Game time is 6:30 to 7:30. However, part of being able to rent fields with Virginia Beach Parks and Rec, we have to have a pandemic plan. So, in order to potentially reduce, I guess, overlapping games and stuff like that, starting and stopping, we may look potentially at one set of games starts at 6:30, the other field starts at 7.
Like that.
So,
Just distance everyone.
historically, we've been 6:30, 7:30, but it may be 6:30/7 and 7:30/8
Exactly.
if we have to go that route. I'd rather not because it gets confusing for people, but
Thank you, Mafalda.
Yeah, especially.
I haven't heard that in a while.
so legitimate question there. How many teams for summer draft? I have no idea. Guesses on how many teams we'll have for summer draft?
At least 4.
That's true. We'll
Yeah,
have
at least 4. I think.
You
Yeah.
get your friends out.
I
We'll
think
have
it's.
more.
I think we'll have 6 going on 7. Probably 7. I think we'll get 7. Yeah.
So-
Make it an even number,
Last-
It's
guys.
gotta be even.
Last
Does it have to be
summer.
even?
It
Oh,
That's
makes
easier.
things easier.
That
Yeah.
makes
It makes
a lot
my life easier for
Yeah,
scheduling.
All right, everybody get 7 teams. Make it like hard.
Bring your
Yeah.
friends.
So last summer we had 7 draft teams
We did.
and 1 corporate team.
Oh, so yeah, 8. Yeah.
8 total teams. Although, I mean, the reality is there's still going to be some people that will be uncomfortable in large social gatherings related to the pandemic for this summer, and I get that. So, personally, I mean, I would love to hit 8 again. I try
Go
to
for
be
12,
realistic.
man. Why sell yourself short?
Because that way I'll be happy if I did get more. I'll say 6.
No.
That's my best guess is 6. But I'll be happy if we get more.
Because, I mean, the recruitment, I mean, well, not just the
And
active
the other
recruitment, but
factor
just
too
the-
is
just the
our
promos.
recruitment window is small.
It's small, yeah.
So it's gonna hurt too. Who's gonna win the championship?
Whoever wins the final game.
True. Look,
That's it.
teams aren't even picked yet. You asked that question like after I see rosters. I don't give you. They don't give you my best guess.
Yeah.
I didn't ask that.
Maybe
What is the sand kickball championship?
Didn't know there was one.
August 8th.
Okay.
So-
It's August 8th, apparently.
August 8th, we're going to do
Okay.
a sand kickball tournament again in association with the North American Sand Soccer Championship. People had a blast last year on that.
That was fun with that big old ball. It was huge. It was tough. Everything was tough. You know, running,
really
catching.
There's already 2 teams forming already for something that far out for a tournament, which is nice. I can confirm Sandstorm will be coming back.
What do you think?
I mean, I like to have fun there.
But no, it was fun last year. Unfortunately, I didn't get to play. I had a broken toe.
That's right. But you were out there though.
Yeah, I was still out there, helped set everything up. Still captain, but this year I'll actually get to play, which would be cool.
I forgot the team's names.
Yeah.
So shout out to the champions. I think it was like Randall's team.
Yep. Randall, Yanni, Tyler, Ashley,
That
who else
group.
was on the team? Yeah. No, that's who we played the championship game. We lost to them. Based on, because that's the first time we ran sand kickball. So there are a couple minor rule changes compared to last year.
In general,
One,
Or
the
just the
strike
sand?
zone is a whole lot wider.
you mean for sand kickball?
For
Well,
sand
the ball's
kickball.
huge. You're gonna have to
Well, that's the thing. Like, going in, we were like, hey, we'll just make it the plates because the ball's huge.
Yeah.
But what happens is
You
once the
walk
ball
in.
starts rolling a little bit, like the ball is so big, it just hits a little bump of sand and
Yep. It's gone.
it's rolling all over the place. And unfortunately, in the championship game, like one thing that became a legitimate strategy was wait for the walk because they cannot pitch a strike. So the strike zone's definitely getting widened this year to basically force people to kick a little more. And that's really the only big change. Everything else is pretty much the same. Rules identical to our normal rules now because the strike zone is the foot on every side of the plate like it is normal. And the only big difference is 8 people in the field. True co-ed, 4 guys, 4 girls. So
Yeah. Yep.
All right, that's done.
when is the next scrimmage?
Whenever you want it to be. Set up an event. Or are you talking about like open play?
Open play.
Open
I'm
play.
assuming they mean open play.
That's it.
I don't assume things. Well, I do. I have next year.
As soon as we hit phase 3.
Yeah. As soon as we hit phase 3, it's like that same week.
Because
Same
here's
day.
the
I don't know. I was
Same day.
To be set up
I
already.
would tend
Have
to
everything
play
in the
where
car
we've
ready
been
to
under
go.
40
so
people.
here's the thing. The limit's 50. I
Right now-
guarantee you,
oh,
if it was a CLUBWAKA sponsored open play, we'd probably have 60 people out.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you wanna
I know.
do one and not be sponsored right now.
So that's my only concern is like I go
Yeah.
out there for a CLUBWAKA as a representative to an
I
event.
see. And not just
Yeah.
I see.
Because that's the thing. Like, yeah, I'd love to go and play.
Yeah, but more people start showing up.
But you know, being a commissioner,
Start with
I
the
do
game.
have a little bit of responsibility
Right.
to. I don't want CLUBWAKA to get banned from Virginia Beach Parks and Rec. Like, hey, you guys had an unauthorized gathering on our fields. We're not going to let you rent fields.
There
That would
are-
suck.
You're gonna get.
So
I mean, there are groups that are meeting and practicing
Yeah.
scrimmaging on their own independently.
Yeah, yeah.
So just throw it out on Facebook. Ask if anybody wants to play. I'm pretty sure you'll get at least 5 or 6 people that want to get together and do something.
why no fake names? Billy Chappell.
Well, Kevin, it's a hard thing.
So actually, because I saw this question, I dug up something I've been promising you for a while, Kevin. And it's a little video here.
You made him a promise on New Year's Eve last year too. I can't remember what it was, but I have a picture of it. I have a picture of y'all right after you told him something. I don't remember.
So
I
here's
need to get really
He
drunk
told
and
us that the front
flashback.
door was open.
Okay.
Yeah, I asked him if his back door
Back
was
door's
open.
open.
So here's a little clip from a prior
That's a good response. by the
prior
way.
podcast.
I
Now
couldn't
we
say
won't
it.
be able to hear it, I don't think.
Oh, what is this?
Well, can the audience hear it?
The audience should be able to hear it.
If you can't hear
Let
it,
us
let us
know.
know.
You hear us, two-person audience?
All right, so we'll just be quiet. We'll see if we hear it.
Do you kiss on the first date?
It took 6 months.
So I don't think we heard it. So it was a question. It was like something like how long until you, or how long do you go before the first kiss, like for a date or whatever.
Oh man, I remember that.
And
night.
Kevin was talking about something else, and like in cue right after he was like, oh, like it was 6 months or something like
Yeah.
that. So that's what you get for the. I'm assuming it was Kevin that asked the Billy Chapel thing. So
I see.
Kevin wanted to sign up for the draft anonymously, so he signed up as Billy Chapel.
Do you all know who Billy Chapel is?
Man, call us out.
No,
It's a baseball movie.
it's a baseball movie.
I know some reference.
Kid's a pitcher.
But as long as everyone knows who he is, then I find no issue with it. You know what I mean? But that's the
Yeah.
whole thing. Is to sign up another name. And,
Well, then there's
no one knows who
then there's
you
the
are.
waiver aspect.
Yeah, you got
and all
waivers.
that
That's the
stuff.
big.
That's
That's
true.
actually the
That's
main
true.
thing. Is the waiver part.
That's true. That's true. Very true.
I guess
You can identify. as Billy Chapel.
Dewey laughs. I guess
Yeah.
she heard the Kevin clip. I'm assuming. Yes.
Well,
I
that
guess
was 5
people
minutes
heard.
ago. Though. That wasn't.
Let's see. Is a shin guard considered performance enhancing equipment? No.
How you plan on using that thing?
No.
That's true. I know.
Fucking some knee in the
Yeah,
party?
if you're sliding, and if the intention is using that guard to,
I got spiked knees.
So-
Shit,
Well,
go
I
down.
don't know, because I'm not going to call anybody out from winter season, but I was sliding into home plate and he stepped right on my shin.
Here's the thing.
I mean-
Performance enhancing equipment. Like during winter,
No.
if people wanted to wear gloves, as long as they didn't have grip on them, gloves were fine.
I remember that.
But if you bring in, and someone tried to do it, you try to bring in football receiver gloves. No, you can't wear those. That's performance enhancing equipment.
PEDs, we don't test them, so
Yeah.
roll it up, y'all.
I know another kickball organization, they allow players to. wear
Yeah,
those
that
gloves.
always bothered me.
Yeah.
Well, and
And it's
part of the
actually,
reason
it's actually in
why.
the rules that you're not supposed to.
I can, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So part of the reason why we
I can
don't
think
do
of
it
that
is
one
like
person.
where do you draw the line? It's just
Yeah.
we'll be able to say, you know what, no, nothing performance enhancing, period. So we're not gonna allow, oh, you can wear that type of glove, but not that glove, or
Just say no gloves.
And the thing with the shin guard, like one, it's gonna absorb energy, so it's not like if you kick the ball off your shin, you're not gonna kick it any further. So it's
Yeah,
not
so
performance
it's not
enhancing.
Yeah. I don't see the intent. for
It's
wearing
a
that.
safety
It's actually
device.
a detriment, I mean,
It can be.
having given a full kick. I mean, it depends on how you kick.
Well, you can wear gloves in the wintertime as long as they're not receiver
Yeah, my
gloves or
top
have
slide
tack
bars
on
would
them
just
or
go
anything
higher
like that.
behind the
Just
shin
gonna
guard.
Cotton knit gloves.
How much booty is too much booty?
I was going to ask
Saddest
that.
booty ever.
I don't think there's such a thing.
Yeah.
I've been busy.
It all depends. Like I said, it's all subjective. It all depends on how much you can handle.
Well, I don't know, how much booty did y'all put on during the COVID-19?
It all depends. It all depends on your situation. I mean, if it's going to be a detriment in your life, if it's
Yeah,
going
I
to be a
think
harm
it's-
to you or others.
How do you or others?
Wow.
That
Okay.
was good. I need to start looking at
I don't
that.
know, is your booty harmful to others?
Well, it depends.
It's subjective. Same thing
Yeah,
with
it's,
psychology.
people have their preferences.
You know,
You gotta look at
Well,
it
okay.
like quantitative or is that like
Me
size-wise?
personally, I think there is a too much. For me, there's a too much level. So
right. So you
Yeah,
teach
right.
its own.
everyone's got their preference.
That's when you can only tip girls.
Can one of you show us the best way to eat a Tootsie Pop?
Not me. Not
Not
it.
me.
Not me. Oh, Philip.
No, nobody.
I was gonna bring one. I asked that question. I was gonna bring one and make one of you guys do it too.
You should have panned out for that.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest. Like
Yeah.
Tootsie Roll Pop, I like 2 or 3 seconds and I'm crunching through that shit and it's
Yeah.
done. So
Yeah.
So apparently someone did like a research study to find the average number of licks to get to finish a Tootsie Roll Pop.
They
It's
need
ridiculous.
more.
I'm
They
like,
need
who's
something.
got that much
They
time?
need to play kickball or something if they got that much time on their hands.
Exactly. Snub one of yours, Talbert?
No, I only asked
There's
those
the
two.
leak, ma'am.
No, that's Ryan. That has to be Ryan. And
McNulty?
yeah, the answer is bend over. I'll show you.
Okay.
Yeah, that had been Lindell. I didn't ask that one. I only asked those two back to back.
Dr. Phil is the man. What sort of doctor is he again?
I'm a pathologist. I'm a pathologist. So my subspecialty is in transfusion medicine. So I deal with like blood products, either being used as a transfusible or being used in a procedure called apheresis. Apheresis is a procedure in which we remove blood from patients who have certain medical conditions, and we exchange it for normal fluids. So that's therapeutic. So it's all therapeutic. It's like the only aspect of pathologist that's therapeutic. All the other specialties in my field is more like diagnostic. So,
Phil asked that. He just wanted to talk about it.
Did you ask that question?
I'm not that.
I heard captaining is a good way to get social with the ladies. Is this true?
Being a captain?
I don't know.
No.
I mean, they can look over.
Well, most teams have boy and girl captains, so
Well, draft
I
league.
mean,
I don't know. But yes, and
who's
no.
trying to get social with the ladies?
That's a good question.
I mean, anything. Yeah, it's kind of anybody respects someone in authority position. It's kind of human nature. I mean, you build rapport. I mean, if you're in for the ladies, then go for it. Why not? Why not? You know, as long as you're a good captain to your team and not showing partiality.
You gotta wait 5 weeks, folks. Let's get it out of the way right now. Let's get it out right now. And most of you, I don't even know who the hell's watching, but y'all already know the 5-week rule. Just don't do it. Thanks, Anthony. And I know that's why Nicole does it.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know Nicole did that.
Actually, yeah, Nicole's been a captain quite a few times.
How's that worked out for you, Nicole?
That's what I'm saying. We don't have just guy captains.
Don't answer that, Nicole.
Alright. I was picked in the last round last year. My captain, will I be counted as a last round pick again? So
You'll always be a last round pick if you ever get drafted last in the last round.
Hey, excuse me.
Hey. Call him like
So the way we handle they're referring to what we call what I call burn picks.
Yeah.
So we do that to balance it so that, let's say you have two sets of people who are equally skilled as captains, but one pair is better players than the other. So what we want to do is balance out. That's the whole point of a draft, is balance. So you dealt with this process before.
Yeah.
But instead of trying to, because there's a lot of inconsistency with the draft, like someone was captain before, they never captained before, this is their first time playing, they never played in draft before, so they've never been drafted. There's so much inconsistency. I used a tiered system, and instead of trying to nail someone down to like, oh, 3rd round, 7th round, 9th round, just try to put all the captains into like tiers, like, hey, this guy's like a superstar player.
Yeah,
this
he's the first round.
This is above average. He's just a purely social player, and distribute them like that.
Yeah.
And I don't think any system's going to be perfect, but it seems to have worked.
It worked okay, I thought. Because, I mean, you have like some of the better players, if they're captains, in a draft, they would be, if they were not a captain, they would be selected in a spot. So we just guesstimate which spot they would normally go in. And that would be their burn pick. So that would be the draft pick that they would have to waste on burn or burn on themselves.
And I think too. I think it went relatively smoothly. I mean, there was a little bit of back and forth, but
Winter did. I haven't had a problem with it.
There was no one that's like, no one was sitting there, well, I should be 4th round instead of 3rd round. There wasn't that, because it was like, okay, I'm reasonably skilled level close to that player. Some burning my pick in the same round.
Don't remember where
I
I was.
The only thing people complain about is what team.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, well, that's the crapshoot.
That's the crap.
That's when you throw them dice, baby, when you sign up for a
Let's
draft.
see.
Now it affected our salary. Then we might have mentioned. I'm an all-star. I'm on the lower tier.
I think we got secret admirer here.
Well,
Is Brittany Genova's single?
Uh-oh.
at last I knew, no. But
Yeah.
That's
That's asking a question.
I
I
don't
thought
know.
that was a statement. Because I know, according to Facebook, she was.
So that wasn't your question?
Nope. No, it's not the question.
All right.
Anthony's in the chat, so.
Right.
Oh, Anthony can tell us. Come on, Anthony.
No, I mean that'll be like one of those things.
Oh, wait. So you answered the way you did because Anthony was in the chat.
The joke.
Oh, okay. I see how this will. You all feature a lot of photos at the bar.
That wasn't a question, it's like a
I was
statement.
gonna say
It was.
thanks.
Yeah, true statement.
Thanks.
Yes.
Thanks.
So I mean,
Just
look.
let us know if you want to be featured.
I think one of the best things about CLUBWAKA is that we have awesome social
Mm-hmm.
post game. There's a lot of leagues that don't. So
Yeah.
if you have an issue with seeing a lot of bar photos, sorry, you're gonna see more.
Someone-
And if you want more, make more.
Yeah.
I mean, unless, you designate yourself as the photographer.
So for Tyler, that's what I was
Yeah.
getting ready to say.
Because I remember
Unless you're
Daniel,
gonna
I
pop up
think
as
one
a
season
photographer.
Daniel Lee, I think actually one day of the season he was taking photos. I don't know, it wasn't official, but he just said, I said, why are you taking photos? He did something he wanted to do.
No, it's always
But
people always
you
love
stick
seeing
around.
game photos and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Everybody wants to watch what they're doing.
Exactly.
We're all
right.
vain as hell.
I know we are.
Like, man, take that again.
All right, so actually,
Let me see that. Let me see that.
everybody can answer this question
Too
except
much
for
beauty in
Philip.
that one.
Oh yeah, yeah. Philip, you can't answer this question.
All right.
Not yet.
What is the hardest part about being a commish? Since you had a first time experience with this
The
Um,
hardest.
winner.
What did I say? Hardest.
The
Okay.
hardest,
What is the
the
hardest
hardest part
part?
about being a commish. Well, I put recruiting up there for number one, but I mean, kickball self recruits. Other than that, it's the human aspect. Like y'all are grown ass adults, but sometimes you don't act like it.
Thank you. You were
And-
gonna take the answer I had. But
I feel that's going to be 3 for 3.
Yeah.
across the
I
board.
mean, we have to step in and we have to show some impartiality, except when it comes to me or Ryan. But those are the two things. It's recruitment. I mean, we need our captains to help us. We can't have a great stellar season without our captains also bringing in people. Y'all asked how many teams for the spring and summer.
It's up to
Bring
you
them in.
guys.
Bring them in. But then, captain your team. Tell your team what's expected, what's not expected. Again, we're grown-ass adults. We shouldn't have to go over, Mommy, may I, and Happy Father's Day, may I. That's what I found.
yeah, so what about you?
And all the hidden little
Thanks.
messages, like,
Oh, back and forth between other people. Yeah. With me, I guess it would be on the people side, but you'd have to know how to handle different personalities. Now, there's going to be some people that honestly don't know things, and they're going to ask you a lot of questions. It might come across as they're just dumb as hell or something or whatever, but if they really want to know, they just need to know. Then you get some people that will complain about any little thing. Some people, you try to communicate with captains and things, and they just don't want to. Oh, there you go. I can hear myself. Then they can, you get some captains that are hard to get up with. And when I was running the league, I made sure when somebody messaged me or emailed me or texted me, I tried to respond back to them as soon as I could.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you spoil people that way because I have a real job too.
Yeah.
And if I'm in the middle of if I'm down at the bottom of a ship, I'm not going to get service. I'm sorry I'm not answering you right away within 15 minutes. It takes 3 or 4 hours. And like, oh, never mind. F it. I'd rather ask somebody else. Like, well, do they know exactly what you're supposed to do? Like, but it was always fun. I mean, and money's great too, isn't it, guys? I always throw that out there just because it's not about the money. But yeah, it's always really fun to do. And especially like what Tanya's doing now, she sees it. When you start a league, you get to watch it grow, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of stress, a lot of footwork, a lot of, I wouldn't say begging, but you're asking a lot of people, like, can you please change your plans for the, couple months to come play with us? I know you wanted to take time off,
Well,
stuff
not
like
only
that.
that, bar sponsors. So, I mean, I'll put
Well,
it
you
out
get there too.
For Winter League, we did have some complaints over the bar sponsor. It was tough. The location was new, but Ryan walked me through it, and we spent hours. Like, I like going out, but we spent hours searching these bars, and it's just trying to get the owners to just get with you and make a commitment. That's really hard too. So it's not. I know I posted photos of us hanging out, talking to these owners, but it takes a lot of time.
It does, and you're putting yourself out there a lot of times, and like again, not like begging, but you're pretty much begging
Yeah.
somebody to like
Right.
say, hey, can you please let me have 50 people here once a week, and can you not like screw us over and make sure you have enough servers on, and all that kind of
I'm gonna
stuff.
put this foot on your head, like meal.
Nah, that's
Actually, well, yeah, I agree with that. I mean, from outside, of course. As
For
commissioner, I don't
me-
envy you guys.
Um,
Well, that's why you're not doing it anymore.
recruiting.
No, that's not why I'm not doing it anymore.
I'll definitely
It's why
second
I'm
the
not doing it
recruiting.
anymore.
That's
You haven't heard the
that's
stories
hard.
yet.
Um,
I'm pretty sure you can ask around and find out why I'm not doing it anymore.
the human aspect and everything, like, for me, it comes down to drama. There's a lot of drama.
Whenever you
What are you
get
gonna do about it,
a
Ryan?
bunch of drunken adults,
Um,
drunken, horny adults together, you're gonna have drama.
like Brent and I talk all the time, regularly. The number one thing we say to each other, the number one phrase, why can't people just play kickball?
Yeah.
Like it is, cause like people will bring stuff up, and like I don't mean that to be like
I mean, we're like adults and
there
stuff.
are
We got
actual
personal
legitimate
lives.
issues that
Yeah.
need to be brought up.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of stuff like sometimes if you think it's just like, am I like in middle school again or
I
high
know.
school?
That's what I'm saying. Everyone's bringing their adult life, and we all come from different like sectors
Yeah,
and
well,
maturity levels.
like
And
what-
so-
You should see some of the questions I used to get asked too, or complaints about other people.
The biggest headache I had to deal with recently was they were
bring,
like
bring some kids out here to play.
they were like
football.
two or
They
three.
look better than we do.
There were
They
like
have
two
fun
or
and-
three nice conspiracy theories going around.
conspiracy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Remember
I
that?
mean, like personal stuff.
Yeah, and I had to
Yeah.
like, I had to take the time to address it and all that other stuff, you know, and I could have been doing other stuff while I was doing that, you know, and like, but I get it, people feel a certain way, and
You can't make all the people happy all the time.
that's the biggest thing is you're always, it's a no-win situation, someone's always going to be unhappy as when you're a commissioner, like,
No. But it's very fulfilling, very rewarding.
It is fun.
And
it's a lot
overall,
of fun seeing
yeah.
everyone out there.
Overall, at the end of the day, you can see that you made most of the people, you actually have made most people entertained. And the money's great.
Rolling in when you get home, looking forward to it.
Nah,
When my check got
I always, I really do just joke around about that. Because I would have done it for free. I mean,
You look at your check like this.
are you looking for new league managers?
let's roll it in here. Let's roll that next question.
What's the
That's looking for new league managers. Yes, if you're willing to put forth the time and the effort for,
Oh,
you know,
I
as
got,
Calvert describes it, a really awesome paycheck. I don't know if I agree with him, but
we need to renege on everything we just said so we can have people suckered into signing up.
oh
My
shit.
father
They can't take
wants
our
to know
money.
what
It's very good, and you know what?
I
You can
knew
meet
she
so
would- I
many
knew she would
great,
wanna know.
awesome
Wants to know-
people.
She loves the drama.
What are
What?
She
you know
said-
what the cons-
She said she wants to know what the conspiracy theories are.
So we'll have a sidebar offline.
Look, I was gonna say we're
I'll
waiting
tell
until we
you.
go off camera on that one.
Yeah, I know, my
I'll
father.
tell you.
You can come over here and get the scoop.
If you had been
Or you can
here,
stay home.
Yeah,
and
if you had
get
been
stuff.
there,
You can
maybe
stay
I
home
could
and
the
get
live
stuff.
audience
You
made
can be
room for
here.
you guys.
Well, since we brought Mafalda up, she actually asked some good questions, and this
I'm
ties in with
surprised.
the
I
other
heard you,
questions.
My
Mafalda.
father's good little sense.
So Mafalda asked, what are your thoughts on the Trump administration wanting to deny health care to the LGBT community, mainly the trans community?
Oh yeah, there you go. There you go.
I think it sucks. I mean,
What's that? What was the question? Sorry.
what are your thoughts on the Trump administration wanting to deny health care to the LGBT community, mainly the trans community? So, I will look at one thing, and this ties into more than just LGBT, but also women. Equal Rights Amendment,
Yep.
I mean, still has not been passed, which basically is an amendment to the Constitution, which would say everyone is equal regardless of their sex. Because according to the Constitution, you aren't, based on your sex. You have specific rights, like, oh, if you're a woman, you have the right to vote. But there's no amendment in the Constitution that basically says everyone's equal. Just kind of like, I mean, if you think about it, the Constitution was originally written, the Bill of Rights and everything else sounds great, but it was basically written for white men back when it was written. Like, if you were, you know, basically if you weren't a WASP, you didn't have rights, you know, even though there's freedom of religion and everything else, but unless you were a European white male,
And the land was
yeah. So, yeah, I think everybody should have the same rights, freedoms,
Yeah,
everything
everybody.
else.
We're all
So,
humans.
I can't imagine anybody not having the same rights. You know, it's kind of but I understand, you know, because I guess the laws don't, or people can interpret the laws to mean one thing or the other. But
You
that's
shouldn't be
why
holding that strictest standard to that shit though.
I know it's not to a T. It's like
Yeah.
it's like the Bible. You know, I mean, you have all these tenets and it's the core values, right?
Yeah.
But then some people follow it to the T, to the period. Oh, there's a
Yeah.
period there. You gotta follow it.
It's guidelines, folks. It's guidelines.
And that's why
not-
we have
not-
all these sects.
And-
SEX, SEC.
and follow up to it, what are your thoughts on trans players considering your current male-female roles? No, that's
That's a
actually
good question.
that is a very legitimate question.
Yeah.
I've been asked this before, and the official CLUBWAKA policy is whatever's on your driver's license.
Yeah.
So that in some states that's probably going to screw some people over.
I'm pretty sure that those leagues amend their rules for that. I would imagine.
But I heard there was
Probably.
a circuit player, and I think maybe Nicole may know this player that's, you know, dominant.
Don't name names.
I'm not gonna name. I don't know because I don't know the person's name.
Oh, okay.
Was trans, man to female, and they switched over and they play on the all women's team circuit. So it is what it is.
And I mean that's the biggest thing too. Like, I mean, CLUBWAKA is co-ed, and CLUBWAKA values. 'Cause I saw these questions and I wrote these down. So, live fun, and that is, this is our why. Everything we do, we believe in having fun. Life should be fun. People should be happy. Obviously, if you're discriminating against someone, they're not gonna be happy. Do the right thing. Make our best decision when following this principle. This includes being positive, being the best, being fair, fostering a safe environment. So yeah, I think people shouldn't come into a league and feel like they're being ostracized or, you know, treated differently because of who they are.
Yeah.
Family first, it's more of a company thing, but then the last one, strengthen community. By creating and providing real life social opportunities for people, we are a positive part of every community in which we operate.
Family first. Let me elaborate on that. If you play kickball long enough, there's some of these people that you meet become your family.
Mm-hmm.
I've got brothers and sisters in this league and other leagues I've played in. So, I mean, yeah, that doesn't just apply to employees. Or that applies to players. Because if you play long enough, you meet people in your life that become family. Hell, I see people from kickball more than I see my real family.
Hey,
Yeah.
yeah, I second that.
Yeah, and the other part too, part of CLUBWAKA's stance too, with regarding is, you know, going by, you know, your official license designation or whatever. CLUBWAKA doesn't want to see a situation where, like, community coordinator is running a league and maybe they're a bad person and they make you know, some kind of sexist decision saying like, oh no, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, or them being pressured by other people to make that decision. So that's kind of why WAKA has, you know, their standard guideline or response for it, so that hopefully those situations don't arise.
It's like the workplace, you know, you have some bad seeds every now and then, and sometimes they can tarnish, you know, everybody's reputation, the whole league's reputation.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, commissioner, you know, if he lets them get away with it, so I think the whole take-home message. I don't work for CLUBWAKA, but I think you know, as a community, you know, we all recognize things.
Well, I mean, I know there's been stuff over the years that like could bend corners on that I haven't, because
Yeah, it just
you know,
it-
because in this particular situation it's fine, but then
Open
what
the
about
door.
next season? Someone's
Yeah.
like, well, last season you let blah 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 happen. You know, it's one of those.
So going back to the, so you say whatever's on your driver's license, that's how you identify.
That's the official statement.
So what if it gets, I mean, especially in my father's case, because you may be in that community, you know, what about his other pronouns and whatnot? How would that be recognized as, you know, how you're identified to the league? 'Cause
Well,
I'm sure
and the thing is, like,
what's that other organization?
Stonewall.
Stonewall.
No, I think, and I'll say Stonewall does a really good job of being obviously supportive of that whole community. They're the only other social sports organization that I know of that has, at least that's national and has an official stance, you know, saying, hey, we're inclusive, we like everybody, everything else. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody.
And as far as, you know, all the pronouns and everything like that, like, the only thing where it really comes into play for CLUBWAKA is our co-ed requirements. So you can be whatever you want, and you can play in our league. It's not like we're saying, you know, it's never been a situation where like, well, you're a trans person, you can't play. It's never been that. It's only like whether, you know, to meet the fielding requirements and stuff like that.
Good question.
Yeah.
That's a good question. Another question, social question. Does WAKA have a stance on Black Lives Matter?
All right, go ahead.
So yes, I would say overall yes. CLUBWAKA, at least the Instagram accounts, participated Blackout Tuesday, everything else. again, it comes down to strength and community, doing the right thing. You know, people are people. So,
Yeah, if there are any issues anywhere, make sure you bring it to our attention because we won't stand for that in our own league. Because we are a close-knit community, I feel. Like Talbert said, you get to have these people as your family, so if there are problems on the field, off the field, just bring it to our attention so we can take care of it and help everyone through whatever it is they're going through.
yeah, and I mean, I've, to date, over 3 years now, I've never kicked or banned anybody from a league.
Yeah.
But if you're going to be racist or sexist towards someone in our league, that would be the one thing that would get you the boot.
I'll go ahead and say it. We don't want you there. If you're going to be that way, if somebody bothers you because of the color of their skin or how they sexually identify or anything else like that, I don't want to fucking have you around me. And I'm not an employee, so I can say that. But yeah.
Alright. That's actually most of the questions. Only last question is, what have you been doing during quarantine?
Who's starting this one?
What's quarantine?
Well, other than, working, because, obviously, in Central, so I've been working and focusing most on work. As one of the treatments is for the severe COVID-19 is, that's actually been FDA kind of not mandated, but promoted is the convalescent plasma, and the Red Cross is in the business of, manufacturing, distributing that. And I will make a pitch. It's not official Red Cross business.
Say, should we be having
This is not
something?
this is not a Red Cross business, but it is official. Red Cross is now, testing all donors for their antibodies. So if you want to donate blood, they'll test you for the antibodies. If you have antibodies against, SARS-CoV-2, they'll put you in the convalescent program. So you can actually, your plasma can be given to recipients who have severe disease and can help save their lives. So just so you know that it's free. You don't have to be sick. So I mean, I know back past 3 months, maybe you've had a flu-like symptoms and you thought maybe you've had it. So maybe I thought I had COVID-19. You can go get a test, but you have to donate altruistically, ideally. And we'll do the test. If it's negative, your product will be used as any transfusible. But other than that, other than for me personally, other than working, my video game collection has grown. I've been trying to take care of some video games I have an opportunity to complete.
What about you? Wow, you said what quarantine?
I said what quarantine, but aside from that, also trying to homeschool for those of you who do have kids out there.
Yeah.
It's tough.
That's a good point.
It's tough.
That's something you have to consider, even going back in the fall. What's the plan? What's Virginia's plan for the school kids? Because if the kids are homeschooled again, then you may not be able to play kickball.
Hey, no, everybody knows Haley. Come on now. Like, you said family. Like, Haley's been out on some fences and some
I
other
said, who's
girls
that in the
been
wagon all along?
Yeah, who's sitting in that wagon by herself?
She's a good kid.
Yeah, thanks. But it's, working from home, we're all making those changes as needed. I think we're all essential here. Really, I think everybody's kind of an essential employee at this point. No yard work, no housework, just
What?
trying to,
Did you guys see my
like
yard
big
work? when I came
projects.
in?
I did.
I was
yeah,
impressed.
Yeah.
Very impressed.
Yeah,
with
Ryan's got
landscape.
Yeah.
the tight ship here. I mean, he's definitely Nathan.
I was about to say that military coming in.
Yeah, the
But
military training.
no, I've been teleworking, binge watching way too much TV.
I still have not watched The Mandalorian.
You still have not?
No, I
Okay.
have not.
Brianna Copa, I don't know if she's watching, she tagged me in some, I guess this, you have these memes around. Someone said, if I'm paraphrasing it right, it says, I may be bored as hell, but I'm still not watching Star Wars.
I'm with you,
She
girl.
put my name in. Just watch The Mandalorian, I swear. It's good. I'll give you
I do have my band on since, we haven't played in spring.
I know.
And your glass too.
And my
Oh
class.
yeah, that's right. We have already ordered wristbands for summer.
Uh-huh.
The orange and black.
Yeah.
Y'all don't want to know what I did?
What did you do, Talbert?
Oh, yeah. No, sorry about that.
That's okay.
Keep
I
it
don't want
PG.
to say. I'm keeping it because a lot of good happened to me.
What he didn't do.
I'm not telling y'all what I did.
3 months ago, he's like, jump out of there.
So, I stopped drinking so much. I've changed my lifestyle around, lost a bunch of weight. I work out every fucking day. Like, sorry, I just made it not PG.
I don't care about that.
Work out every day. Usually, I was walking every day, but rain here this week, and I've been focusing on
Speaking of,
weights
it's raining right
yeah.
now.
But I took the quarantine and made it the best for myself.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Right. Yeah.
Because I wasn't able to go out getting trashed every night, and so.
Yeah, it's. I mean, overall for me, it's been almost like a mini vacation.
But yeah, it's what you make of it.
I'm not having telework. It's a non-driving into work.
Mini vacation.
Mini vacation.
I mean, 3 months.
Well, okay.
That's a sabbatical.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
it's sabbatical.
it's not like I'm
Yeah.
going somewhere, but like, yeah, it's like a staycation in a way. I'm still working every day, but
He doesn't have to get dressed.
yeah, don't have
That's
to
right.
get dressed. Like
Hey.
literally,
Work.
set my alarm, roll out of bed, and like log on to the computer.
All you have to do is log on. That's all you have to do is log on. You get paid. Log on.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people are probably more productive at home than they. It all depends on how you work. But like, you
For
know,
me, the
if
biggest,
you had a good environment.
because
like
this is
you
the
had
first time I've really teleworked. Really, I've done it for like a day here or there. The biggest thing is efficiency.
efficiency.
Like, and I'm sitting there at work, it's like waiting for the next thing to come in, wait for the next thing to
That
come
and
in. So
distractions.
now it's like I knock a bunch of stuff out,
Mhm.
and it's like, I got nothing to do right now.
Yeah.
Throw a load of laundry
Yeah.
in, come
Yeah.
back, okay, knock out another thing. I'm gonna make lunch for myself,
Yeah.
you know?
It's all.
Let me grab a beer.
Yeah,
you
right.
know?
No, I mean, don't grab a beer.
But, yeah.
It's working.
Well, right, because pre-COVID, you're sitting at work like there are a million things I could do in my home life.
Exactly. Right.
Going back to that commissioner question earlier, I'm doing a kickball.
Yeah, yeah. So again, it was a vacation.
It was.
It was like a
It's
vacation.
a nice kind of reset. But yeah, I'm at the point now where like, yeah, I'd like to.
Get antsy again. Get
Yeah.
bored with it.
I want to play soccer. I want to play kickball.
You want that paycheck?
I know. Hey, at the end of the day, yeah. I mean, a job, you know, it becomes a job, even if it's your passion.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's got a kind of outcome you got to meet.
So let's swap things up here. So
Oh, sure.
shirt colors. So these are old shirt colors. So from this list, lime green has changed.
That's unfortunate. I like lime green.
That's the only one I don't. Well,
Heliconia, we'll get to a second. I think the new one's better.
the new lime green.
Heliconia and coral are gone. Instead, you've got neon pink.
Well, it's the same.
Orange and Texas orange are gone.
This is neon pink.
That's that's why I brought out this. That's you can open it up.
That's
So
what she said.
I'm pretty sure this is neon pink.
Busted wide open.
Oh
There's nothing
shit!
but water around here.
So much for our PG rating.
I mean,
Sure.
sure.
Do it the other way, so
Like a shirt.
So this was a Wakapalooza shirt, but this is the same company that's doing our new shirts. I'm 99% sure this is that.
Okay.
That's what neon pink will be
Nice.
like. It looks a little washed out on the camera feed, but it's pretty nice. So I'm wearing neon orange, or what I think will be neon orange.
Walking through, yeah, I got that.
Yeah. I like the neon orange.
It's just orange.
Orange.
Ish.
Now, one color that I'm sad is gone,
Which one?
the gold. Now, I did like the gold. Maybe it's just because I'm a Steelers and
Yeah, this
Penguins
looks like
fan.
this old. This looks like an old color.
But I'm sad that's gone. It got replaced with neon yellow.
You mean a neon yellow?
Yeah, I was gonna say
Oh
because on
my
the screen it
goodness.
looks yellow.
Yeah, it looks
versus.
yellow.
Well,
that's
yeah,
on
those
the
are the
screen.
old colors. So.
No, I mean actually in his hand.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so it looks more like that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ice gray is gone, which I'm happy about. That's like the
like
worst
the
color ever.
ugliest
It's like a dirty
color.
white.
Well, that and the
Huh?
horrible. Yeah, it's like
Ice
dirty
gray.
white. Yeah.
It's like a dirty white.
You mean the Mandalorians?
Yeah.
You guys
Yeah.
were doing charcoal, weren't
Yeah,
you?
no,
Oh, that's true.
no.
Okay, that's true.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Why do you need two colors of gray?
I thought you were throwing shade. I thought it was. intentional.
Now Carolina blue.
Well, this is not Carolina blue.
No, that's not Carolina blue. So that might be
Turquoise? No, not turquoise.
that might be the bright aqua, but I am
That's not awful. That's blue.
or
That's regular blue. This is-
Wait, what? Because we're getting rid of Carolina blue?
That's blue.
I am not.
I just want to point out that it's
That's
never
true.
been Duke blue. So
Oh yeah, it's a lot better. Dude.
But we're getting rid of Carolina blue.
so here
You
are the
shouldn't.
new
You haven't heard
colors.
That's the worst. You should never get rid of that.
So these are the new colors. So aquatic blue is essentially Carolina blue. It's a little brighter though, I think.
kind of like that royal.
But once you
blue.
wash it like 2 or 3 times, it's gonna look exactly like Carolina blue.
Yeah. Yep.
So
Be honest.
now the one that you held up,
What the hell color is that? That doesn't.
I
match that at all.
don't think that's gonna be bright aqua. I wish
Hey,
that
you
were
know
bright
what?
aqua.
In open play last year for our first draft for summer, did you show up?
Probably.
Because I had my Duke shirt on, and
Oh, yeah,
then
I was
at
like,
draft day, you're like, "Weren't you the girl wearing that Duke shirt?"
Oh, I did
So
say that.
see, yeah. Go away, Carolina.
Yeah, I recognize you. I recognize Duke people once I see that D.
That's where you stay away from.
Oh, you want to see that D?
That's what she said.
See, look, they're doing it now, not me.
So these are the new colors.
Until I realized she
So the
was-
names are a little bit different, but you still got you've got royal blue, purple, white, black, navy, dark green, green, cardinal, which is like the red, and then the maroon color, charcoal.
Why the change though? You know.
That it had this stuff before.
New vendor, you know.
I like the bright aqua.
The other thing that CLUBWAKA does too, like naturally they'll look at it and they're like, well, what shirt colors aren't people picking a lot?
Oh, I see.
So it's like, why
Right.
keep around shirt colors that people choose like 5% of the time?
Saves money.
Because obviously people don't like them as much.
Yeah.
So, if there's one of those old ugly colors that you really like,
Olive, yeah, get the chocolate, the olive. Those are the good ones, man.
there is the potential, because CLUBWAKA still does have some inventory. There is the potential to get one of those old colors that were discontinued.
The cheaper price.
No, it's just as part of your normal registration.
Oh,
I mean, if you want to buy separate ones, you might be able to, but.
you can get an old color as part of your registration, but you have to pay additional price for it. Full
No,
price.
no. Same price. Like basically, as part of your registration, you get a shirt included, right?
Right.
So if CLUBWAKA has the inventory available and you want one of those old colors, you can request it for your team, and
I
we'll
see.
try to supply
Oh, for
it
the whole
you.
team.
Yeah.
Okay, not you personally.
Yeah.
Just to be off.
I mean, CLUBWAKA's always sold individual shirts, but I mean, most people they play CLUBWAKA once or twice, they play it a million times, they got a million
I have
shirts.
two new
So,
shirts. Okay.
so that's all the color changes.
That camera on your table's tripping me out, man. I keep staring at it.
New toy I got during. this
Oh
whole
yeah,
thing.
yeah. What's the purpose for that?
I set it so that it's doing motion tracking right now, but there's a little motion, so it's going crazy.
I see.
But I set it up so like when I leave the house,
Just in case somebody comes in.
it takes a 14-second clip of video whenever
It's
it
motion.
detects motion, or you can set it for a loud sound like a window breaking. Or
Okay.
something. Yeah. Well, just a new toy. It's pretty cheap. So, anyone talk about anything else?
Oh man.
Yeah, that was a nice hour.
Yeah.
That
I
was a
got
good
stuff
hour.
I gotta do. I have stuff to call my dad too.
Well, I'm probably not going to do any yard work for the rest of the day since it's raining. So.
You stop. working?
Nah, it's still
No, I haven't
recording.
recorded yet. Why? You want to say some shit?
No, I just wanted.
He wants to know when the real talk will come out. What it is.
Oh.
Do you
hold
kiss on the first date?
Anybody else have any questions in the live chat? If anybody's, can you see how many people are
Let's see
participating?
here.
If they have any questions.
No, it doesn't look like any more questions.
Remember, prices go up after tonight. Get
Yeah.
your friends to log in,
After
sign
tonight?
up.
So, it's a nice little exit screen now.
No drink. No drinks were harmed. Yeah, that bottle of water got crushed in the face.
So yeah, thanks everybody who tuned in to watch.
Really
I don't think we had a
appreciate it.
huge count, but I saw a lot of people coming and going. So,
That's what she said. Yeah. Thank you
Yeah.
for tuning in
all right.
Thanks
and
for the
allowing us into your homes to entertain / bore you.